Good morning.
Good morning.
This morning, I'm going to talk about the loss that continues. One definition of loss is failure to keep or to continue to have something. Another is the experience of having something taken from you or destroyed. And with loss, we feel the sadness of grieving what we lost. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross first described grief as 5 stages we go through, such as denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. We now know the stages are not regimented in that specific order or number. There is also pain we feel over what we have lost or losing. This is often when we begin to reconstruct, to think about how we will live our life without the peace that is lost. This leads us to acceptance and hopefulness in what we still have in our life. We all experience losses connected to our own aging. We know we all get old if we don't suffer a premature death. It's kind of like being caught between the rock and the hard place. I remember 15 years ago, my friends and I joking about developing CRS and then CFS to be followed by CDS. Now, CRS is can't remember stuff. That's a paraphrase. CFS is can't find stuff. And CDS finally is can't do stuff. We laughingly commiserated over inevitably experiencing getting old together. But what happens with ongoing loss? A cycle unending of losses that feel like one is caught in a revolving door of anger, sadness, and grief. Almost all of us experience at least some normal cognitive decline as we get older. The most common being cognitive slowing, processing information rapidly and dividing attention effectively are cognitive skills that peak in young adulthood. As we get older, most of us have difficulty remembering names or numbers that are said rapidly, such as phone numbers, and also multitasking is not as easy as it once was. Recalling a familiar person's name or a particular word during a conversation commonly becomes harder for adults after age 70. We've all had the tip of the tongue experience. Sometimes there are cognitive changes that are more concerning, but the changes are not severe enough to interfere with daily life or independent function. It may be forgetting important information that she or he would previously have recalled easily, such as appointments, conversations, or recent events. Others may find it difficult to make decisions or judge the time or sequence of steps needed to complete a complex task. At this point, if they have a neurological assessment, they may be diagnosed with MCI, mild cognitive impairment. MCI causes a slight but noticeable and measurable decline in cognitive abilities, including memory and thinking skills. Approximately 15 to 20% of people age 65 or older have MCI. MCI increases the risk of later developing dementia. 1 in 10 people age 65 and older, that's 10%, have Alzheimer's dementia. But some people with MCI never develop Alzheimer's. Last year, I was diagnosed with MCI. I stepped into that revolving door of loss and grief, cycling through the stages of anger, sadness, acceptance, with recognition of each small loss, restarting the cycle. The thing I have always had the most difficulty dealing with in life is the unknown. I may not develop Alzheimer's disease, But I do know the spinal test showed I do carry the Alzheimer's marker. Ongoing loss left me feeling vulnerable, different, not sure who I could trust. I was afraid of being judged, of people distancing themselves from me. I had been warned by a friend here to think carefully before confiding too quickly. They had experienced how some well-meaning folks had rushed to judgment, assuming or saying things that were thoughtless or painful. But I did share my diagnosis with a few people I trusted. Even though the doctors at Emory Brain Health Center stressed to me that I am in a very early stage of MCI, very high functioning, and it is important for me to continue in all the activities that I am involved with, I feared some would see me as not the same, not measuring up. My greatest fear was that some would see me as suddenly no longer capable of volunteer roles I serve in here at UUCA. Sharing this today is the biggest leap of faith that I have ever taken. But this congregation is the most important thing in my life outside of my family. And I need the support, the acceptance, the assurance that I will continue to be a part of this village, because it does take a village. At least for me it does. I want to celebrate life. The doctors think I have many good years still ahead, and I plan on making the most of it. I really haven't changed a lot. I've always been outrageous. I see a lot of you agree with me on that. But I am still smart, I am still strong, and try not to be shocked when I joke about it or laugh at myself. This is how I always approach life, with determination and humor. But I do need your love and support. My family needs your love and support. I am not the only one in this congregation that is currently traveling the road of uncertain cognitive futures, and there will be more. But if you wish to be a part of the supporting travelers along the way, we can learn and sometimes laugh and sometimes bear the loss together. In the words of Joseph Campbell, we must let go of the life we had planned so as to accept the one that is waiting for us.